name is Karl, called Kalle. I like that in Greece. This is my father's name, so we have a little different view on the name. So, my father is dead. He was a doctor too, cardiologist, but sorry, he's dead. So his name is up here. That's my name, the K. Sorry about the joke. Yeah, thanks. And the middle one is a pointer.
Yeah, pointer and proceed.
Before I begin, I would use the opportunity here just a little bit about harm reduction. I'm a doctor. My bias is I'm a doctor, nothing else. And harm reduction, exactly like Fasolinos mentioned, I think is every medicine that I know of or practice is about harm reduction. Maybe not antibiotics, some of them, but it's harm reduction medicine. So, let's start. That's a picture from Iceland. I love it too. But one question before I start also. 2,400 years, Democritus came to the idea of an atom. Just tell me, help me, you Greeks. How did he manage that? Without the microscope, without the electron microscope, the atom. Certainly it looks not like that with fixed electrons. It's more of a quantum mechanism. So it's a possibilities, not any fixed thing. So even the atom is not a fixed thing. Okay, this is a circle at least. And we have another circle that I would like to present is, in fact, the humanistic view from the WHO itself. Health promotion is the process of enabling people to increase control over. People control over, this is very important, to improve their health. This is harm reduction too, in my meaning. I don't know about you, but this is harm reduction. I would rather call it the Ottawa Charter instead of the harm reduction. I don't like the word because almost everything when we are trying to make better is a harm reduction in itself, in principle. I'm present in now Iceland, and as you did see from my other Karl from Sweden, they rarely mention that this island exists. So we are a little outlier. We are not in the EU, so we are not better than Sweden on the EU scale. But let's see. Everything I'm going to present here is before any laws about vaping. There were no laws. We had laws on vaping, 1st March 2019, this year. This is the first year, a few months. How many months? 2, 3 months. So everything you see in numbers are from the pre-period. I'm going to present you my favorites is that I call X factors. This is a secret sale. The blue line is the secret sales in Iceland, and you see the neck here, or the sudden downfall. It comes simultaneously, precisely as Karl Firestrom showed. It comes from the uprise of the snus sale. Is that a coincidence? I took 16-year-olds which had a smoking prevalence of 15% from 2008 until 2018. This is the first X, the sale of what's it called? The prevalence of smoking, 16 years old, and the sale of snus. We have a snus too in Iceland. Here is another one, as comes up in 2012, approximately in Iceland, from 1% up to 10% in 2018. So there is a double X factor from the vape and from the snus. Karl said we can't see any causes. Of course we can't. But I think we are very blind, or we put the blind eye on if we don't see what's happening. This is a more cluttered, not a simple one that I like most. It shows the prevalence of 20% with the school kids 18 to 20 years old. And it shows the 16-year-olds stalling effect for 5 years until 2009-10, then dropping. This is a sale of, the other ones are prevalences. This one is just the sale of snus. And we have, I think nobody has noticed that, we have 14 years old, this point, 0.4, that's the prevalence of smoking with 14 years old. So a combination of 14 and 16 years olds is 1%. Sorry about Sweden, it's 5%. And you see also 20%, this is only 2 decades ago. 20% prevalence of 18 to 20 years olds is down at 4%. Is that the magnetic field that's changing this? Is it the common trend? This is so obvious. A youth daily vaping in 2018, 14 years, 2.5, 6 times the smoking, 0.4. 16 years, 10.1, 6 times the smoking. What did they do before? Are they new addicts that some call? These are about 60-65% former smokers. The rest of them is mostly snoozers. We are not talking about experimenters. We have very high experimenting, 20-30%. Once in a last month or a few times. But these, the vapers, 95% own their own vape. So we can see regular or frequent vapor owns this vape. Youth, and I checked also, you saw the sudden, these lines. This is vaping, straight up. And this is vaping, a little younger ones. What happened? Is there any normalization? Is there any gateway effect? With 60%, I checked the last 2016 and 2018, there is 60% drop in the smoking prevalence with the kids. So we don't see any gateway, not normalization. Just to give you, I don't like unstables because they don't show real life. I like more of the waveform, I'm sorry about that. But we see this picture is daily snus in 3 years, man 18 to 44. The prevalence is 15%. So this one is 2015, and the blue ones are 2018. You see 10 points decrease in the snus use with the young man, 18 to 24 years. And you see the increase, oh, probably they got older, but probably not. Probably the snus users, former, went over to W's, probably with vape. I don't know. We haven't tested it. We can't cross-check it. But this is very interesting that I see. And here's a little thing, little number, 25% of the whole of snus users in Iceland, which is on average about 8 or 9% totally in the country. They start before 17. So you see the young people, they are heavy snus users. Daily vaping, this, I'm sorry about not having it all together because it shows most the changes and the differences between the snus, vape, smoking. We have seen that before, 2.5%, 15 to 16 years old, 10%, the young people. I have to get a better one. You see, there is average very high use of snus, no, of vaping. And you see 14 to 79, that's the whole population, 6%. That's high. Well, I think so. And you see also here, this is 2015, the blue lines. This is all in 3 years. Of course, it affects the smoking prevalence, as we have shown. This is the smoking prevalence today. I put everything in, not above and below the 18 years old. In my view, smokers are smokers, irrelevant of age. My meaning, we should not treat them differently because of some legality. We have shown in every studies that talking to young people has the same effect. They're equally bright as us, some even much brighter. So, no difference. A smoker is a smoker, and harms both. The average is, my last numbers, which I have present before, it was down to 4.9. I'm sorry to say, it's now 6 to 7. But I have to also say sorry to Karl, because he presented the Euromonitor, which is 5% for Sweden. I'm sorry, Folkhälsomyndigheten, that's the official one in Sweden, I work in Sweden, shows 7%. So we're still a little bit lower than Swedes. Well, the same. This is no difference, 1% to or from. We have problem with the, I'm not showing you older numbers, but in 2007, the smoking prevalence of above 18 was 18.3%. Guess. It's not so high now. On the average, above 18 is about 8%, from 18 to 8 from 2007. There are more to come. From 2014, in 3 or 4 years, we had approximately almost 50% decline in smoking rate. I'm just talking about the grown-ups. If you're talking about 2009 for the 16-year-olds, from 10% to 1.7, is much higher decline. So if we should include them, we probably have 50-60%. Well, that's what I hope. Smokers, 45% dual use. I hear from the Directorate of Health is still decreasing. And also the vapers are decreasing also. But then comes the question, the follow-up question, how many quit smoking, dual use, only vaping, then quit vaping too? And from preliminary view of the data, it looks like it's the biggest group. Well, it will be interesting, but they haven't cross-referred as I have asked them to do, so that we can be certain, but it looks like so. This is the situation in Iceland. I took only 16 to 34 years old, snus and vape. That's a young group, that's the youngest group. That's the future. That's why I wanted to show that too. Don't take the oldies like me and Karl into this. Smoking is only 20%. 80% are the alternatives now, today. This, I think, is fantastic. You see, I come from Iceland. So these are icebergs. You did see that? You see, often we say 1/10 is above the sea level, but 9/10 down under. I call it, these are without the one. Why do you think so? I didn't put the under the water for vape and snus, because there is no harm shown by them. 98% approximately more secure or safer than smoking from snus. PHE says 95%. We are using probably 40, 50 million people in the world. We can say that as an experiment. We haven't found anything. I would love to see just one of my medicines which I prescribe that has as few side effects, with not near that as many patients testing it. There is no medicine that comes near. This is safe, as I say. No harm, but this one is the harm from smoking. Everyone knows that. Death by vaping, 0. Snus, I'm sorry to make it a little bit smaller capitals, because I see them as the same. No one, in 15 years and 50 million users, under that time, 105 million people died in the world because of smoking. And we are just wondering if we should recommend it. This is from US. Change the tone from Iceland a little bit, halfway. This is the project in New England Journal of Medicine that Scott Gottlieb came up, and the FDA, with the future of US, the future plan for the 2100. That's very nice. In 80 years, they were going to save life years, as we call it, 134 million life years gained in that 80. Everyone likes that. I did. I did a comparison because it's very easy. We are so tiny in the middle of the ocean. We are not in the EU, we are outside. We are in Europe, but we are never mentioned, like in the death numbers for a comparison. But we are 1,000th of the US. So that's very interesting. That's the New England Journal of Medicine FDA plan. In 3 years, I mentioned the 46% decline in the smoking prevalence in Iceland. It's easy to use, 12 years per life, 150,000 life years gained. Extrapolated as a proof of concept, that's 150 million Americans. Well, we're not so many in Iceland, but the same principle. I'm just going to end with the laws. We had them from our friends in England and even US. We had some help with the changing the laws. I'm not talking about my part in the Icelandic for the last 5 years. Press, writing articles, 2,000 radio interviews and TV and so on. Also working with the Parliament and the Welfare Committee. And I had some very nice people, John Britton and Linda Bolt from the England and Scotland to help with the, even a guy, Brad Rodo, professor in Louisiana, who came with, and even an Australian, usual, just a normal citizen sent, what's it called, the opinion to the Parliament. I loved it. Well, lots of writing. I'm sorry about my language. It's my third or fourth, but well, that seemed to be the problem for him too. But I loved it. The main thing we managed to change. We have special laws on vaping, not within the tobacco. I'm sorry, this is my jokes as usual. So, 18 years of age, I oppose that because I see a smoker as a smoker. I think we have to be more compassionate to the younger people of our societies, not just the, but I know this is a sensitive issue overall. And kids have always helped themselves. We see 90, even 95% of the smokers start before 18 or 25, 90 before 18. So what's the problem? There's not going to be a problem with the 18 years. And remember, this is all pre-law. This is all illegal in Iceland at that time. We have another 20 milligrams. Yes, Husek came into that. It's far too low, I'm sorry. It's not probably, at least for the types of the low-powered equipment, we manage with the high-power equipment, the newest third or fourth generation. But for the low ones like Joule, that's totally powerless. It needs a lot more milligrams to give the same, because it's the blood level in us that puts the limit, not the markings on the bottle. It's the blood level. Okay? Ads allowed, no brands. Ads visible in vape shops, not the brands, but inside of vape shops. And flavors, well, we managed to stop the fanatism there, but not child tempting. Little guffy beers or flying angels, that's stupid. Just call it caramel or chocolate or mint or whatever. So we have the flowers unchanged, but different names. Restaurants and companies, they simply decide for themselves if they want to make any restrictions or any changes, but they're up to it themselves. No limits on tanks or bottle sizes. Small bottle sizes are more, what do you call it, in the global warming period. Better to have them bigger, so we are not throwing it everywhere. That's not the real. We didn't find any scientific reason to justify these small bottles. It was just prohibition. And no limits, safety, quality, of course we need that, child-proof. Postban, you know what that is? Point of sale is not allowed to be shown in the stores. You have to have it behind something or under something. That's just normal standards. But I like you can't add to it caffeine. You have to have the coffee beside the vape because it's a stimulant. I like that one. It's a paradox. Kindergarten, primary schools, doctors' offices, public, that's okay. Doesn't change anything. You see, this one I love too, especially, because I put no, I'm sorry, 0.9% brutto sale tax on every vape, liquid, and gears. What's going to do with it? They're going to tobacco control fund against smoking. I love this. You don't see the sarcasm? This is one of the best, as we saw earlier, smoking cessation tool. Why should we tax it extra? Yeah, to import more e-cigarettes, probably. No, I'm sorry. I don't understand this one. This is the most important thing, as Karl said, the death rate. And on Karl's diagram, you didn't see Iceland. That's okay. I'm used to it. And we are not. Death rate smoking-related diseases in 2023. That's lower than Sweden already then. And in 2010, we had 60 people. I talked to the guys and said, what happened? What happened? They didn't include the second bystanders effect as a certain percent of the whole thing, as a certain algorithm that WHO and Americans came up with in the 1990s. I agree with that, it shouldn't be there. But a new one from 2017, it shows 100 people per year. And I even got called up from the Directorate of Health, an insider, I called my deep throat there. He said, there's going to be exciting information next week because we see a drop in lung cancer and smoking-related numbers, heavy. So welcome home, he said. At 100, and that's by far in the Western countries. That's much lower than Sweden's. No, I'm sorry. From the social students, that's the official director of health in Sweden, is 120. Similar. That's the same number. I'm sorry. No pun intended. Thank you. It was going to stand here, I don't know, strange Greek letter. Thank you.